All right, welcome back to Tuesday with Gas Trade Stocks. I'm Vinny.
I'm Dylan. We are bringing back the swing trades. We took like 2 months off because it was a summer and not a lot of stuff was trending. And now we are bringing them back. So we got some picks for you today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was definitely a viewer request. Some people were like, missing the swing trades, man. I must say I have to agree. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, please give us a like and subscribe below. With that, we'll get to it.
Tuesday with Guys Trade Stocks.
All right. I like to beware the crash warning.
Yes. So before we get started, I promised I would do this video this weekend. With that being said, this is possibly the worst possible time to do this video because we're filming this. It's the 11th right now. On the 10th, there is a big drop on volume on the SPY, a little bit on the Qs, mainly on the SPY. So you really don't want to invest until you figure out if there's a bottom. So I'm going to show you what a pivot point is so we can see that. But keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's like one of those, what do you call it? Rising tide raises all boats. But when this baby starts sinking, you want to be on board anything.
Exactly. And I do have picks that are exceptionally extended to the upside. So if there is a crash, you can essentially have a much better R to R. We'll talk about the R to R is, but yeah, pretty good.
All right. Yeah, well, this channel is called Tuesday with Gas Trade Stocks. If you follow us into any trades, you may very well lose money. We're pretty good at that game sometimes. But yeah, do so at your own risk. Dylan breaks these things into 3 different options levels. One thing we are doing with this coming back is that Dylan's going to try to incorporate a little bit more short options as well. This will be opportunity for you to do like some different spread options and things like that in order to play the downside of things with limited risk theoretically. All right.
Yes. All right. Do you know Danaher Corporation?
Sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't say I'm particularly familiar with them though.
They're exceptionally generic when you look at what they do. They're like, we build health, commercial, agricultural, and then like 9 more segments, machines. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So everything, I don't know. But before we get into this, can you go to the SPY real quick, Vin?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you. So this is a SPY, okay? Well, this is why this is a little bit rough. We had a big full bar gap day on volume. The RSI completely tanked. Before you take any long trades, you want to make sure that you see that this is a little bit of what we call a pivot point right here. So it drops, gaps down. We have a full bar back up to about the level where it closed the previous day. And then this kind of forms what's called a 3-bar play. I've never really talked about that before, but I feel like a lot of our audience actually probably might know that. And then the next day goes back up, showing that we are indeed still in a long direction. So I would not go long on a stock until you see something like that happen. It could even happen down here. It could have happened Monday. We're not really sure. Just keep that in mind.
So,
what was that?
Superman's covered calls I opened on Friday were probably a bad idea.
What I did in my sim account was an even worse idea, so don't worry about it. All right, so I'm going to show you the weekly chart first. How does this look towards the long side here? This is weekly chart.
Yeah, that's a nice staircase there, huh?
It is a beautiful staircase. They broke out of here. They essentially added almost like 38% to their entire market cap in like the last 2 months.
Wow.
I'm not saying they're a bad company at all, but any company that does that is usually quite extended. They are still going up, 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 up. They're starting to show hesitation for the first time right here. They showed it here, and then it just kept going up. But because the SPY is going down, and we now have a little bit of iffiness here, we could see a decent correction to around here. The reason why I like this trade so much is because you can literally buy a put option, set it to, let me go to the weekly to make this easier. Set it so if it sets a new high, you just get out, which is very, very close to the stock. You could literally make it so you lose 20 and make $500 if you just buy a strike price all the way down here, which would be about a 50% correction from this big staircase, which is usually pretty average. So it's a pretty wild risk to reward. The success would not be very high But if you risk $25, you make that much. It's completely worth it, in my opinion.
It's like putting all your chips on one roulette number, right?
Except all your chips are no, because you're not risking that much. And then Netflix, same thing. This is their weekly chart. Not as pronounced as the other one, but they're on the daily, very extended. We're starting to see a little bit of hesitation. So same thing. You just buy a put. If they set a new high, you're out. And because we're so close to right here and with this volatility, you will not lose that much money, but you can end up gaining a lot of money. So those are just some options that I play. The success rate isn't great, but usually the win really offsets the ones that you lose.
Nice. Yeah, it's an interesting little way to play this whole thing. Ooh, all right. You got some long option potentials here too, huh?
Some long. And once again, like Boeing, don't take it. It says do not take it in bold. Don't take it.
Yeah, not yet. Gotta watch it.
Not yet. We're waiting for a pivot point because, it's been kind of beaten and battered here. Here, I want to go to L-Charto. It looks like we're putting in a little bit of a double bottom because we were here. The reason why I like this stock is on recovery days, when you associate these with a SPY, they have just giant, like what is this is a $14 swing here. I mean, that's like pretty crazy. So yeah, they always have these big bars coming up on recovery days. So it's just an easy way to make a decent amount of money, but you do not want to get in this until we actually have a buy signal. It's just one that provides a decent opportunity.
Yeah, especially being below all the moving averages there, huh?
Yeah, especially being below all the moving averages. Progressive. The reason why I like Progressive, we had a doji when a lot of other stocks on the indexes had a full bar down. This actually had a little bit of resistance, so I'd be looking at this. This also moves quite a bit less, but in the $96, $97 range would be a good option play.
Interesting, yeah. Progressive too. I remember looking at it at one point from a financial standpoint. I don't think it was a particularly expensive stock, but that was earlier this year when I last looked at it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely they're not moving a lot. It's a pretty good swing trading stock as long as you hold it for like 2 months at a time, to be honest.
Yeah, interesting.
Because every time they hit these low 90s, they bounce up with like force. Like, I mean, in one day they moved $6 for Progressive. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a pretty aggressive move. Interesting. It'd be a good cash secure put maybe or iron butterfly kind of stock there. I don't know.
Wouldn't be bad. And you're gonna like this last one here.
Ooh, wow. Bringing back old school Dylan, huh?
Huh?
Old school Dylan right there.
I gotta put in a high risk option. All right.
All right.
Take this at your own risk. You do you on this one.
I like your pun there too. They've been getting bulldozed lately. Like
it?
Yeah, beautiful.
So, do you want to go over what this is? NUGT?
This is a ETF of gold miners, and it's a levered ETF. So when you're right, you're really right.
But when you're wrong, you're super wrong.
Exactly. That's kind of playing with fire a little bit.
I actually didn't even look at the stock when I prepped. I look at KGC, like Kinmore, whatever that gold mining company is. I'm like, man, they're just getting destroyed. So I pull up Nugget, and basically it's just an order of magnitude times 2 that you can get your money on. But they are really just dying. Like, this is since January. They try to have a peak, and they're all the way back down to this accumulation zone. So, this is risky. Not saying it's not, but $48 is a pretty low price for this guy. I mean, we chill up all the way here in the 80s. I mean, this was 2 months ago.
Yeah. A lot of the metal trades have kind of cooled off a little bit. If you want to pull up FCX real quick too, it's a copper one. It was a recent report. They downgraded them. I forget who it was, but saying that they think copper is kind of done.
Yeah, they had actually, let me go to their weekly. They had a ridiculous run up here. So this is like that DHR stock. Like, once you get up to a certain point, you just start to drop. Nugget on a weekly chart is going to look very different because they're leveraged, so they lose price over time. So that's not accurate.
little more aggressive.
There you go. This is Kenmore. This is gold. So they went up, but they're almost back down to kind of where they were pre-COVID, to be honest. They're at right where they were pre-COVID.
Interesting.
So, you know, a lot of other metals are way higher than gold. It's also a nice way if you think the SPY or the Qs are about to tank. Yeah. What's that last slide, Vinny?
Let's see. We got one more. Oh, QQQ.
I don't know who put that in there.
I know, right? Like, it's pretty funny. Someone asked at one point on one of our videos if we're become two stupid guys waiting for the next market crash. Just change our channel name. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know, man. This is kind of what makes sense to a certain degree, especially given how low volatility is right now.
I mean, hey, it was a bad day in the SPY on Friday. I made $100. And want to know why I did?
Because you went short.
I have 4 of these.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And honestly, the Qs didn't even drop that much.
Your TLT puts are getting a little bit better, I think, too. They had a good day as far as bond yields on Friday.
Yep, everyone keeps on saying those are a bad idea. I'm gonna buy more. So someone said I need to sell my Nikola puts too. Bought more.
Well, Nikola did get a nice bounce up to like 11. That was a good time to go back.
Yeah, actually, I should go over that because that's like it's such an easy buy back in. Like it's the most obvious thing that you can see. Here, go to the Qs real quick.
Okay.
We got a nice rounded top, which this is such a short-term view. We don't know what's happening. However, I don't think it's unrealistic to have, you know, a correction down to here. If you don't mind, it's almost like we did a video. I think it was, I think it was here. And I'm like, yeah, I think that we might get in the 450 range, then see a correction. It's almost like some guy said that before. Oh man, it's almost like everyone's been calling this for like a year, and then like I do, and then I was right. Oh, it's crazy. All right,
become one of those bears that have called 30 of the last 3 bear markets.
I've only called 1, and if this works, I am 1 for 1.
There you go.
For people who are long Nikola, we have a few. I don't know why. Someone had commented at about here that, man, I hope you got out of your puts because you're about to lose money. You always want to wait until this closes like above an EMA, a 20 EMA, a couple times, not just once, because it usually will just bounce right back up. So this is when it's going up and it didn't have enough force. Once it closes it, you're usually screwed. So I bought more here and it worked out quite well. So thank you to whoever said that. There's a couple. Yeah. I read that comment and then I checked my stock. I'm like, oh man, I should buy more.
Yeah.
Selling out. It's like, thanks for looking up, bud.
Yeah, that's the fun part of this whole thing is trying to keep track of so many different like trades and thought processes. But it's learning curve. The more things you do in the market, the more opportunity you have to learn.
That guy made me $100 because I saw the comment but my thing it was tagged to me. I was like, are they like up right now? Oh man, they are. I looked at the chart. I'm like, oh, this is coming down.
Yeah,
they weren't even up on increasing volume. That's not going to work.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think about swing trades being back.
Yeah, this wasn't the funnest swing trade because of the thing, but as soon as the crash happens,
I love it. All right, catch you guys in the next one.
Later.